Boy. Oh boy. Hi guys. Ah, time for me to do another format of the log. Diary of the Green Renee, John Weaver, which is me, and Madam Plus Budget. Right now it's about 8:40 in the morning, Tuesday West Coast time, the 24th of February 2026. So, I've been dealing with phone issues over the past couple of weeks, telling me that it's getting full files. I thought it was temporary stuff, so now I've got issues with the mechanical, and I can't get this damn thing restarted. I'm going to have to get me a new phone. Barely can do phones and messages, but anything else regarding it, screw it, because it just doesn't have the capacity anymore. I have to reset it at the factory, but I can't reset it at the factory unless I get this damn thing worked. So anything regarding the logs, I'm going to have to do it at this point, and just do it a laptop instead of the phone, like I like to do. I haven't kept track enough of old Gasback, because I know tonight he's going to be boring the crap out of us around 5 o'clock at night, and everybody else is talking about what he's going to say, what he's not going to say, what about this, what about that, what. Yeah, I know. Regarding the Olympics, it had already been shut down a couple of nights ago, and the controversies happening with the Olympians versus Trump. They're saying that the women's hockey, the U.S. women's hockey, who won gold, refusing to go to the White House. The men, I don't know if they're going to the White House, even though they won gold as well. Controversy happening with the FBI director, Party Harding, with the Olympians, and acting like a complete fool and idiot. It was supposed to be a business trip, and he gets caught, and the independents are passing the videos left and right. Not to mention the corporate. The actual video is already taken off, but he had to be a schmuck about it, didn't he? Drinking his way over as if he's still a podcaster. He's supposed to be in charge of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Ganesh Patel is nothing more than a juvenile delinquent like they all are. The Williams still wants more control and more power. She wants to get herself a jet. Hell, Patel's got one. How come I can't get one? I want a private jet too. Don't you know that those damn things cost billions, or actually millions of dollars to get? And then flight crew, fuel costs. They all cost the taxpayers a great deal, and they all have to keep track of the expenditures. Well, that's screwed up, isn't it? If that wasn't bad enough, try hearing about this one here. The Office of Budget and Management are thinking that about 2040, Medicare Part A is not going to be solvent, which means we're not going to get any of our medical stuff paid because the way Medicare is being screwed over left and right. It is the 2026 year. We are talking 2040. Congress has got a short window of getting that fixed if they can, if they choose to. But if not, we're screwed. We're screwed on that point. I'm on Medicare. I don't know how long I'm going to be living. Maybe longer than 2040. I'll be in my 80s during that time. I know in several months we're still going to be 250 years old, the country of the United States of America, if it's going to be considered that as well. So I don't know if we're going to be alive. I'll wait yet. I don't know. All I know is we're screwing ourselves over one way or another. Nothing about Venezuela, but apparently Mexico has calmed down a little bit. As predicted, the cruise lines have shut down operations to and from Mexico. Both coasts, the Gulf of Mexico and the Pacific coast. So if you guys are planning on cruising, forget it. If you want to go to Alaska, maybe it's off season. If you want to go to Hawaii, be my guest. If you want to do the Caribbean Islands, well, be extra careful. But if you want to do the Latin countries, well, I don't know about that one. At least Mexico's off limit. Crime lord gets shot, gets executed, and Mexico goes ballistic. Said before earlier on, there was a news report regarding hospital ships that Trump wanted to send over to Greenland, a political way, trying to get his point across. And the Danes and the Greenlanders said, "Not that one." Other than that, I haven't kept track of all the other ins and outs and all the other issues that we still have regarding everything else going crazy at this point. Locally, I haven't kept track of the local news just yet. Clicking on a few things here and there just to see what's going on. If there's going to be something interesting happening. Other than files being missed. Or how about Special Prosecutor Jack, who got shut down by the Florida judge? Public's got a right to know what Jack Smith had in his files to be published. Problem is, the Trump-owned judge in Florida said, no, you cannot do it ever. Tariffs have already been judged by the Supreme Court. Pissed off Trump way much that he's going to be saying to people that the world gets 15% tariff. Everybody. Because the Supreme Court decided to do this to me. No loyalty. Well, I certainly hope that. You're loyal to the Constitution, and that's one thing. But if Trump's going to be delivering a message concerning about loyalty to him only, and not to the Constitution, well, we really got a problem then. I mean, he's already been demonstrating it last year up to this point. So every department that he owns and puts his name on there. It's not enough, I think, what was it, Washington, D.C. or another airport out there is going to have his name on it. Dulles International is going to be going through renovations for its terminal. And it's going to be labeled the Donald J. Trump Terminal, or is it going to be the Donald J. Trump Airport? Anything and everything to get his name out there to say something about his ego. I know he promised a while ago, I mean last year, that if we ever get any refunds, it was going to be coming out of the tariff money, and we're supposed to be getting at least a couple of thousand. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, sure. Like that was never going to happen in the first place. Trump doesn't like what you're saying. At one point or another, if you happen to be working with Netflix, Trump saying, Netflix, get rid of this person because I said so. Because they said some bad things about me. And you can't say bad things about me. You know, guess what, guys? Hopefully they'll say, of course, the FCC lunatic hired by Trump will say something else about that one. Go attacking them. The problem is, FCC is usually doing for broadcasting over the air, but when it comes down to streaming services, do they have influence over that? And some of the legal people I keep hearing online say no, they don't, because we're talking about streaming over the internet, data streams, not being broadcasted by satellites but by cable itself. There's still complaints concerning about artificial intelligent data centers being built and taking up more resources than smaller or larger towns can accommodate. It takes a hell of a lot of power, a hell of a lot of water to accommodate that much data. Case in point, computers we've had for a hell of a long while, longer than I can remember. When they were building those monsters back in the 20s or 30s, even Germany had that kind of situation, that these computers required a hell of a lot of power, a hell of a lot of coolant to keep the circuits from overheating. If you had, back in the 70s or 80s, what they called a desktop or a mini frame, you know personally offhand how hot a damn computer can get, how hot electronics can get. Shove enough power through the circuits and everything else that makes what it makes, what powers it, what stores the information. The constant use adds a lot of heat. A lot of heat. And if there's no circulation of air, they slowly start to fry up, or very quickly, how much you're going to be overusing and overtaxing them. When you're doing laptops, you have to keep giving it cooling times, unless of course you get a cooling fan underneath to keep the underneath cool enough without burning up everything. And one particular laptop I had before it fried out had a cooling fan. Problem is, since I'm dealing with a bug situation here on a custom basis, you'll probably see the damn things crawling all over the place. They would get into the cooling fan, not into the computer, but into the cooling fan, kind of jam it up a little bit, or the computer's overheating a little bit, and I have to keep shutting it down, cool it off. Not to mention I'll have to do it for this one here too. Run it for about an hour or two, shut it down for 2 or 3 hours to cool it off, then get it back up to speed again. Electronics are funny that way. I don't care how much they can redesign, make it purdy for the front or for the outer case, but it's still electronics, and they do require air conditioning. But when we're talking about land-based monstrosities that have a hell of a lot of storage capacity, they do require a lot of power going through those circuits and wires and stuff. And also, they need a way to have it cooled. Otherwise, it's hot as hell. They demonstrated that a long time ago when they were building up those monstrosities, the ENIACs, I think, or UNIVACs. Their version that would come up to maybe a kilobyte, or maybe to a megabyte or a gigabyte if they're lucky. You know, the computers that powered the spacecraft, including the Apollo, the memory capacity and the energy for that was the equivalent of using a Texas Instrument calculator. That kind of memory capacity and storage. But you kept it running long enough and hot on a consistent basis, you'd be burning the damn thing out. And out of space, the heat leaks out, and they still needed to have it cooled by water and hydrogen. Actually, by oxygen and hydrogen mixed together. That gives you coolant and also water. Cool up the equipment, but also water to sustain you throughout the space trips. And out of space, you can radiate the heat out. But you still need something to power it up. But you can still radiate the heat out. Science, information like that, is not capable with the Trump administration. They can't think of the stuff to keep firing people left and right. until they actually needed the people left and right, and then having problems trying to get people back into those departments. They just want to go for the power, control, and ego, and everything else going on. So every time I keep looking at the YouTube, the algorithms keep picking up on Trump and all the insanity going along with him. I'll have to check out our news sources just to see what's going on in life, and if we have anything that's going to be affecting a great deal of people, or even me for that matter. These are the things I'm dealing with right now. As for my own health, it's there. So I have to check on the damn left foot, see how it's going. And the right foot still needs to be monitored. That's why I'm going Friday. A few more days. The original wrap. I'm going to hate it, but I'll go through it anyway. And then see what happens. I mean, I can go over to the urgent care if I need to. Schedule a ride for that one if they do, or do it the absolute hard way. And believe me, trying to do that once or twice was hard enough anyway, but I did it. Not liking to do it again, but I may have to if it comes to that. So, that being said, on that situation, I'm just trying to see what else we got. You know, when we got into the little bit of a final note at this point, guys. When the Democrats had pulled a stop on the DHS funding, through that funding, we had the TSA pre-checks. Noem, she was going to put a stop to the pre-checks, the TSA. White House wants good public relations, and therefore they said, okay, they're going to stop Noem from doing a pause on the TSA pre-checks. If they've already paid for it, the people are traveling, why are we bothering them? Some things, as I keep looking onto the internet, doesn't matter if it's finances or news or anything else like that, Trump still wants to show what kind of a powerful, egotistical egomaniac he is. Fortune magazine, according to Yahoo News, this was posted today, earlier in the morning. A headline reading with this tariff plans and taters. Trump vows to do absolutely terrible things to foreign countries in a much more powerful and obnoxious way. Starts out with the S&P 500 lost 104% yesterday as the VIX fear index for volatility spiked 10%, but futures were up 16% this morning, suggesting traders may be putting a temporary pause on the panic selling that has gripped markets over the last 24 hours. Trump makes a threat and everybody else has conniptions with it. He's market driven, as it's been reported. So if he happens to see the market's not doing so great, he has conniptions with it. If they're doing better, that he celebrates it. That it's under his leadership and under his guidance and under his ego. But because he did the tariffs on a hell of a lot of people, including on us, he's crippling our economy. And we voted the bastard in. I will remind the world and the United States voters who voted the son of a bitch in, who supported him, that this is what you voted in, chaos and confusion. You wanted the swamp to be drained, and instead you put pollution into the damn swamp. And it's called Trump and his attitude that you already helped supplied when he did the January 6th support. You guys did this shit. If you want to do the finger blaming. But I still blame every damn voter who did or did not do anything about it. Including me. Accountability, transparency, responsibility. I didn't do enough to educate the public, to let them know that what they're doing was screwed up, and that we will reap it. Well, we are reaping it. So is the world. And the world is bouncing back, except we are not in the top dog position. We are shoved away. Rightfully so. Our own arrogance, our own hubris, our own indifference, our ego, our ignorance, do this shit to ourselves. But after I admit to that myself, my question to me is, what am I going to do next? Talk about what's happening. If there are any solutions, then hopefully explore them. But if there's no, then we deal with what is. And if we're going down the hard way. I'm not celebrating 250 years of a country that this bastard is screwing over. Trump wants to destroy it, and we helped him to it. 250 years built up a country, and one particular election, or actually two elections, screwed us over worse. Guy's got a track record of screwing things over. You got a madman coming from South America, and he screwed over our country as well by getting more and more money for himself, because he was that much of a control freak and egotistical bastard. We got him in. Now what do we do? What do we do now? Midterms are coming up. What's your decision, guys? What are you planning or going to do? That being said,